Alright, so this is a video from Cash Jordan, and it's, yeah, so basically he's a YouTuber in New York, and he basically just records, like, all the stuff that basically kind of happens in New York, and, mainly these videos are kind of, targeted towards, theft, stealing, and other stuff like that, but obviously, it's not the sole thing in New York, but it is a really big problem and a big issue. But yeah, I honestly do watch these videos, not too often, but this one definitely just appeared, and I was just interested, and I'm gonna give my kind of takes on this. I think the situation in New York City is insane. It's honestly probably the worst state, I think. I think even compared to LA, it's not even that bad. Or LA's not that bad, but New York City is just like is getting worse for them. And I just think that like especially with these stores closing down and more, it's gonna go from businesses getting robbed to people, people's homes getting broken into, which is already happening. And, this kind of resonates with me at least a bit because, well, my house got broken into, I think last year around no, New Year's actually, literally last year, like around this, no, never mind, last year around like September. So, yeah, I mean, this kind of just resonates with me a little bit, but, you know, I'm just gonna say that, like, long story short, after there's no stores being able to like get robbed, it's gonna start being houses, and I mean, this is just interesting to see. So, we're just gonna kind of look at it, and I'm just gonna like kind of just get my takes here. So, sorry for the long intro. We're gonna get started.
The NYPD is looking for several suspects in a drugstore burglary pattern.
Police say the suspects were involved in 8 different incidents where they tried to break into pharmacies by breaking their glass doors or
Oh, so yeah. So like obviously the reason why they're robbing pharmacies is that usually there's valuable drugs and you can obviously use those drugs and well sell them. So I mean for those who don't know, but I'm pretty sure most of us do know that.
rolling down those heavy security gates. The NYPD
Great, just what we need, a new robbery pattern targeting pharmacies in New York, many of which are having problems staying open. With Walgreens, CVS, and Rite Aid closing a combined 40 locations in 2024 alone, leaving New York with about half the number of pharmacies it had.
That's another thing. I think even around my location, I think some Walgreens are closing too, which I don't think it's because of robberies. It's just like they're having a hard time staying open, especially with like all the prices and everything just being so high. And it's just right now it's not a good time for anyone, businesses, people. The only people that are like, able to like really go through this are well, the ultra wealthy. So, I mean, I'm not here to like, condemn anybody or say anything, but it's just like, you know, this is not a good situation for anybody. I think when very essential businesses and like such as grocery stores, pharmacies start shutting down, that's how you know that, well, the state of the country or state of the state is really cooked. Like it's just not good.
Just 10 years ago, before our leaders thought it would be a good idea to stop sending thieves to jail where they belong.
Okay, yeah, that's a thing too. I don't get this. Why what's the point of not sending people to jail? Like I've seen videos where they literally catch a criminal and then they put him they like write him into jail or detention, not jail. They go into detention for like a night and then they get released the next day for like and they're like, "Oh, it's cuz it's petty robbery." It's like what under 900 something dollars and they're like, "Yeah, it's not that big of a deal." Like who needs $950 worth of stuff? Like don't get me wrong, if you stole like let's say like $30 like meal or something. Like, okay. I mean, obviously there's not many meals that are $30, but $30 worth of meals, it's like, well, okay, you're literally stealing to like, survive. I mean, sure, stealing is bad, but you kind of have no choice. But like, who's stealing $900 worth of stuff? How do you even carry that much stuff? At that point, it's like you have to be motivated to steal. I don't know.
We've spoken to several managers at various drugstores around New York City. Though none would go on camera, all tell us they've seen an increase in thefts.
Millions of dollars in stolen goods seized in Queens and put on display for the cameras. The thieves had an eye for cosmetics, beauty products, designer clothing, and accessories.
By the way, they're not wearing this stuff, I'm pretty sure. They are selling this. They're not keeping this for themselves. They're like selling it under the table. They're selling it, through any means necessary, as long as they can get more money out of it. And they'll obviously sell it cheaper than like a normal person would originally buy it. So, yeah, and then some,
The shoplifting concerns are part of a growing trend in the city, but due to current laws, many of those arrested were released back.
Yeah, that's crazy also too. The fact that no store, there are literally policies in grocery stores where they cannot literally stop a thief. All they can really do is just try to get him out of the store, but they can't physically touch, or else that's like a whole different thing. It's so dumb.
Back on the streets to do it again.
This man just came in, grabbed a whole bunch of makeup stuff that was on the side, and just ran out. Security tried to stop him, but he was already gone.
Rafael and Sean Martez have been getting their prescriptions filled at this Walgreens for at least a year. They believe shoplifting played a role in the store's closure.
They have it locked up because sometimes they get boosters that come in there and steal their stuff.
I don't know if they're stealing it from here or they're stealing it from another place to sell it here.
These plexiglass screens and all these other inconveniences create
This, okay, I understand why they have this, right? But imagine this. Before, when there was a time where you could literally just grab this off the freaking shelf, that was so convenient. Now it's just inconvenient. You literally have to go to an employee, ask, oh, can I get that from the thing, or from the behind the display or the case? Do you know how awkward that is? For me, I am personally an awkward person. I don't like to really talk to people when I'm outside grocery shopping. I just want to grab my stuff, go to the self-checkout, and leave. Now imagine this step. And then imagine they don't even offer self-checkout, right? That's sure, okay, maybe stop being antisocial, but it's I like to do things fast. And I think just grabbing it off the shelf and going is pretty quick. Now I have to do 2 more steps to actually get out of the store. And the fact that underwear and socks are locked behind the counter is crazy to me. That's a world we live in,
creates additional friction, and friction is the death of retail.
And it's nothing is being done.
So do you feel like it's getting bolder?
Yeah, it definitely is getting bolder.
So, nearly half of New York City's drugstores have disappeared over the last decade as retail theft continues running rampant. But what nobody's talking about is all of these pharmacy closures. They're happening 1 year after our leaders promised to get tough on shoplifting, a promise many businesses are still waiting for them to keep. And sadly, if you walk through any pharmacy in town, you'll be greeted.
Wait, but honestly, I'm not gonna lie, that makes no sense for it to actually happen, because this is the same, it's not like the person in charge has changed or anything. I don't think the mayor has changed. Let me see. New York City mayor. New York City mayor. Sorry. Eric Adams. Let's see how long he's been in charge. Since 2022. And he said in 2023 he was going to try to change that. No, 2024. That means he literally, if he's in charge and he wants to do some sort of change, he would have said that when he started his campaign. The fact that he didn't do anything, or said he was gonna do anything about the shoplifting, meant that he didn't really give a shit about this.
With all the signs that the high crime environment afflicting our stores is here to stay, with locations throughout New York locking up their products because here we won't lock up our criminals. Because stealing here's been decriminalized, making New York a breeding ground for professional criminals who take things that aren't theirs and then...
That's crazy to me, actually. The fact that professional criminals actually exist as a thing. The fact that we have to actually say professional criminals, are you serious?
And sell them on the internet or on the side of the street somewhere. Perpetually funding illegal retail arbitrage businesses that will exist as long as shoplifting here remains a non.
Is this? I don't even think if a cop even walks by and they see this and like they obviously know it's stolen goods, I don't even think they can do anything about it. Like legitimately. Like, don't get me wrong, I understand the reason why cops are being persecuted in, in a certain sense. Like some of them do abuse their power, but like honestly, this is too extreme to like like decentralize or depower, destabilize or something their like ability to actually do something to crime. I just think it's a deterrent at this point. It's not good. Like props should be used as a deterrent to stop this sort of behavior to actually like occur. And it's not even like oh, are you a Democrat or Republican, liberal or conservative take. I think it's just the overall take of law and order. Like you need to have a deterrent to stop this type of behavior from happening.
Jailable misdemeanor, provided it's peaceful shoplifting that doesn't escalate to a physical altercation with another person. As for some reason, our criminal sympathizer leaders don't think destroying security barriers or cutting security tags counts as violent behavior. And that brings us to the real reason why New York is losing so many pharmacies, leaving many neighborhoods without a viable alternative to get things like prescription medication or everyday basic items. Many of these businesses were already struggling for a variety of reasons, and as retail theft continues to creep up, it erodes whatever was left in the store's margins, leaving them no choice but to shut down.
You know what the bad thing about this too? It's not only the fact that like these places shut down and they can't even like, off get their prescription drugs or just their essential items. It also destroyed jobs because then the employees that used to work there, well, guess what? They have to go find new jobs. They have to find a place that's actually going to be open, and lo and behold, that's really freaking hard, especially now since, in New York, a bunch of these type of stores are closing down, and, people who maybe can only get those type of jobs are, well, struggling.
Something Walgreens alone did 22 times last year, leaving it with just 189 locations left in New York. However, as you're about to see, retail theft isn't just a problem for pharmacies that end up closing. It also raises the cost of living for every New Yorker, even those who already buy.
Wait. No way. These are $19? Nah, there's no way. Wait, let me see. Wait, no way. I don't really use, like, I don't have bad smell on my yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. There's no way. What the heck? That's so expensive. Old Spice. I'm pretty sure they're not $19. That's insane. Holy. Old Spice, Dio Swagger, Cedarwood, $11. Yeah, like $9 at a Walmart. Holy shit, that is expensive. What the hell happened, New York?
For every New Yorker, even those who already buy everything online from places like Amazon, revealing that as criminals loot and destroy these businesses, they're actually destroying New York City itself.
I saw her wave.
So New York City has obviously got a lot of former retail storefronts that have been shut down. But if you want to see what out-of-control retail theft is really doing to the city, take a look at the stores that are still open. Like this one, where pretty much everything is locked up behind plexiglass, except for low-demand products nobody's buying right now in New York, like sunscreen. Look at this. Even the picture of the product that is here, so you don't steal the actual product, even it's locked up, so you don't steal the picture. But on top of all this in-store security, you'll also see something else, a blinking camera array on top of this CVS with flash.
But does that even do anything? Because it's not like they can get locked up anyway. They're gonna go scot-free the next like moment anyway. Like it really won't do anything. This doesn't really act as a deterrent. It really just acts as a nothing burger. Yeah.
Flashing lights meant to scare criminals into thinking the police could be inside, or at least watching. But sadly, none of this security is having the intended effect because our stores are still shutting down.
It's terrible what's going on.
Raphael and Sean Martez have been getting their prescriptions filled at this Walgreens for at least a year. They believe shoplifting played a role in the store's closure.
I have seen it happen right in front of my face. This man just came in, grabbed a whole bunch of makeup stuff that was on the side, and just ran out. Security.
So, as you can tell from all this security plastic, these places are getting robbed constantly, sometimes right in front of paying customers. And look at all the cracks around this product locker here on this Tide. It's almost as if somebody tried to tamper with this and break through it to get at the products underneath. And before we get into the
Holy shit. That's rough. I mean, these are, yeah, damn.
almost as if somebody tried to tamper with this and break through it to get at the products underneath. And before we get into the unstoppable proportions this crime wave has now reached, look at who the real victims are from all this stealing. Now, of course, the store itself is a victim of crime, obviously, but the people who live near a place like this, they're the ones that suffer the most, because after a store like this is gone, where do they go to get the things they need and have relied on buying from it on a weekly basis? And what about the people that work at a place like this? Once it's gone, where are they going to work? Now, yes, every time a store like this shuts down over crime, the brand always says that they'll do everything they can to redeploy their workforce to other locations. But that just hurts everybody, because now the people who work at those other locations are going to have less hours because there's now a surplus of workers. If the workers that were at a store that closed can even get to whatever location they've been redeployed to. But even if the workers...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, the redeploying is not a solution at all. Like, because there's a reason why they pick to work at certain locations instead of working, you know, like 20 more miles away. It's because it's, one, close to home, two, it's convenient for them, and three, maybe they don't have the ability to move around. Maybe they literally have a house there, or maybe they just, you know, that's the only place they can get people to rent a room with, or, you know, there's just a lot of factors that doesn't make that a viable solution. So
can get to the new location, so can the criminals. In fact, they ride around on the subway here for free because we don't care about fare evasion either. And that's the real problem here, because if customers need a new store to shop at and workers need a new store to work at, criminals, they're going to need a new store to steal from, and everybody's going to end up at whatever store is still hanging on and hanging on.
yeah, and it just keeps on becoming a vicious cycle to the point where, like, what do they even rob at that point? Well, I mean, the answer is people's homes. That's what they'll do. I mean, if they don't have anywhere else to rob, they'll just rob, you know, they'll start robbing homes. Because, I mean, hell, well, why hell not? I mean, they're robbing stores already. It's not like you can really do anything in your house to protect yourself. So it's like, it is what it is.
Is definitely the best way to describe it. After one Upper East Side pharmacy closed, the sole surviving location said that they were getting robbed once an hour. And as you're about to see, closing stores is not going to put a stop to New York City's theft problems at all. In fact, it's only going to make it worse.
Another guy, while he was chasing him, stole candy.
And it's like nothing is being done.
So do you feel like it's getting bolder?
Yeah, it definitely is getting bolder.
Walgreens said only economic headwinds are making it too difficult to cover.
So the reason it seems like theft is getting more out of control and thieves are getting bolder and more brazen is because they have to. You've got the same number of criminals, but now you've got fewer stores to steal from. Like this CVS right here, its theft problems definitely got worse after the Walgreens, which was across the street, shut down. When that happened, any crime that was taking place split between the two stores now all has to happen at just one store. And you can tell from the lack of rust and dings in the paint on these cabinets that many of them are a recent installation here. And not only are many of these aisles completely walled off on both sides, you've also got that blinking security camera. The store's literally doing everything it can to deter crime. And that's because any surviving store is under more pressure now than it's ever been, and there's no way out from any of this. Unless, of course, laws were to be passed that made crime again. But since that's not happening, every single thing you see here are the last moves of a store that probably won't be here forever. But you know, the real problem is all of this product security. It doesn't just deter thieves, it also deters customers.
These plexiglass screens and all these other inconveniences that are added to customers who are simply there to make a purchase creates additional friction, and friction is the death of retail.
Walgreens said in a statement,
friction is the death of retail. He's 100% right, and if it takes longer to buy things in a physical store, less people are going to put up with that. But it's not just the inconvenience factor that's a big deal here. All this security costs money. It's not free, because every time somebody wants to buy something, they need a human to help them get it, and that costs money. And that money can only come from one place. Just look at the price of this deodorant. It's absolutely expensive, almost $20 when a 3-pack of the exact same stuff costs $23 on Amazon right now. That's crazy. And if prices are going up and
Yeah, like who's gonna literally buy this stuff? Because literally, it's so expensive. It's like why not just buy off the store? Unless hey, maybe they're doing money laundering, where they just spend dirty money. Hey, it is what it is. I'm just saying. But yeah, I think I don't know. All these factors, I think it's not one factor in particular that's causing this. Like I don't think it's not solely just theft, but theft is definitely one of the main causes of this. But with all these other factors, when you add on to it, like he said, where it just later costs so much to even operate a store, it's not even worth to have it anymore. So then the only thing they have left to do, shut down, focus their efforts in another location. Well, when that happens, the thieves start moving to a different location, and then they shut down, and the cycle just continues. Ultimately, it's just a full circle.
convenience is going down, what reason is there to even shop in a physical store anymore? You'd literally have to be desperate for some overpriced item and need it immediately for some sudden purpose to even go into one of these places. But if things are 3 times the price of what you can get them for on the internet, people are going to change their habits, and most people are. They're willing to wait a couple of days to get their dryer sheets. Just order your dryer sheets ahead of time. That way you don't have to run out and then come into a store and pay more than you'd pay on the internet. However, the internet is a double-edged sword because it's both the cure for in-store theft and the cause of in-store theft in many cases. Because although you can't steal these cleaning products from Amazon as it's online, someone else could steal them from a place like this and then resell them back to you. And that is the whole reason stores like this, no matter how well guarded they are, may not have a whole lot of time left, at least in this city. So this right here behind me is probably the most...
Wait, what's the point of having guns? Are those like National Guard or something? What are these guys? Like, but honestly, what's the point of the gun? Because like, I'll be honest, they can't even shoot them. So like, sure, nice as a deterrent, but what the hell is that gonna do? Like, maybe this would, because you can technically carry, could if you're, that this is like, damn, bro, this is like SWAT type stuff.
So this right here behind me is probably the most well-guarded Walgreens in the entire city. Not only does it have security cameras, but we're in a brand new train station, which is being patrolled by National Guard troops, and exits are limited. You can't just run out of this place right through this massive front door and then be on the street. No, you're still in a facility which is being monitored. But even though you'll see a few more free-range products on the shelves of this particular store compared to the CVS we were just in, there is still a lot of progressive plexiglass in here, that's for sure. Because sadly, even a place like this is not immune to theft.
As long as there are resale markets that are not held accountable for the sale of stolen goods, then this kind of conduct is only going to get worse.
Here's how it works. A criminal network hires an individual or crew called boosters. After robbing a retailer, they turn over the stolen goods to someone waiting nearby called a fence. The fence then takes the haul to a home or warehouse where a cleaner removes anti-theft devices or marks.
So there's a couple angles to this online retail.
That is crazy. I didn't know the operation was that. I mean, I kind of did. I had like a suspicion that like they probably hired like the people to like go steal, then they take it to like some place where they remove all the stuff. I didn't know it was that, like, I didn't know they had like a whole, I mean, I kind of did, but it's not like, I didn't know it went from dink dink. I thought it was like they get it and then they just sell the goods. Nah, I didn't know they actually removed the security tags and stuff. Because I think most stuff doesn't really have security tags. I think, unless it's like clothes, that's for sure has them. I think, like the boxes where like they have the thing where you have to like pull it off and then it opens the container, like one of those and some other stuff. But yeah, yeah, this is freaky, man. Dystopian, very dystopian.
to a home or warehouse.
Theft component. The first angle is that it makes it very easy for anybody to say that they have a product and to list it for sale and to offload it. And the second problem is that these companies like Amazon benefit whenever something is sold on their site. They take a cut. And some people say that's why they aren't doing more to get rid of illegal products from their sites. However, even though Amazon and eBay benefit from the sale of anything, no matter where it's from, it's not the fault of these sites that New York has a massive retail theft problem. A problem which is so bad
Yeah,
we've
I
even
kind
got
of
a lot.
disagree. I don't think, or I agree. I don't think Amazon or eBay has like a. I don't think it's an Amazon or eBay problem because I mean, how the hell can you verify authenticity? Like, whoa, you have to ask where the manufacturer and stuff is. Well, like it's like, well, what if you decided to buy it and you're like, okay, I bought in bulk, so clearly I'm gonna sell it for just a bit more, and I got it for cheap, you know. So I don't know. It's hard to say what is like a main cause of this, but it's definitely it's definitely motivated by money for sure. And I don't think I think theft is definitely the origin of all this, like make no mistake.
Up our ice cream with a massive padlock. Look at the size of this thing. Now, of course, you can't sell ice cream
I've never
online,
seen
but there's
that.
another place you can sell it in New York City, which is why this stuff, too, is locked up, revealing that it is not the fault of the internet alone that New York has a
4.4 billion shadow economy in New York City state. That means 4.4 billion stolen?
billion-dollar shoplifting economy. But before we get into
Holy
the other
shit.
ways stolen products are offloaded in this city that is unique to it, it's important to understand that even if Amazon stamped out every illegal listing on their entire site, this stuff, it would still get taken and it would still end up somewhere else because people who steal want money.
Well, yeah, they'd still steal it and they'd still be able to sell it. You know where they would sell it? On the street. I'm pretty sure some people, there are probably streets in New York where it's like, it's the ghetto spot, but like everybody knows that like, there's just goods that you can just buy, any type of goods, whether it's non-perishable food or, detergent, soap, just daily necessities and stuff. That's what I think. And then there's probably that one spot where, oh, we got like the cosmetics, like the accessories and stuff. I don't know, but yeah.
And even though Amazon and eBay probably should be doing more to keep the sale of illicit goods from taking place on their platforms, the real problem is places like New York aren't doing enough to stop criminals from taking things in the first place. Here's an example of a serial shoplifter with over 100 arrests. How is this even allowed to happen? How is somebody allowed to commit 100 crimes and still be walking around on the streets? And how are we supposed to expect this person to learn something the 101st time they get arrested that they didn't learn the other 100 times? We're not. And criminals like this are the real reason New York has an out-of-control crime problem. Now, that doesn't mean Amazon is innocent. After all, the more products that are locked up in stores, the more people...
Here's the thing. Even if they decide to like enact some sort of thing where they start punishing criminals and stuff, I don't think it's gonna be enough. I think it's way too rooted deep now that honestly, the only way you can stop this from occurring is enact a super hard punishment that literally would deter every single person away. I don't think the normal, oh, you go to jail punishment would work, like, oh, you steal this much, you go to jail for like, I don't know, 6 months. Like, no, I don't think that's gonna do anything. Like, it has to be like a super hard punishment that would literally scare people into even thinking or even considering doing it. But I don't know. That's kind of my take on this.
People who will just go online to buy from them. But the reality here is that in New York, you've got a lot of places to offload something that you took and want to resell, and the city's not doing anything about it.
Millions of dollars in stolen goods seized in Queens and put on display for the cameras. The thieves had an eye for cosmetics, beauty products, designer clothing.
The defendants utilized social media, Instagram, and other online resources to advertise for the stolen goods for sale both here and for abroad.
So here we've got a multi-million-dollar crime ring, which was busted towards the end of last year. And they didn't just sell on Amazon. They sold on pretty much every website, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. And they also sold things physically physically here in New York and physically in other countries. Not to mention, you've also got people selling things on blankets on the sides of the road throughout New York. Police see this stuff happening, they walk right by, nothing gets done about it. It's not even legal to do that without a license. And the sad reality is that New York is just such a big place with so many people living in it that anybody who's got that entrepreneurial spirit and zero morals, and who also might not have the computer skills necessary to take pictures of stuff on their phone and then list it for sale on a website, they can make money in a number of ways. The first thing they can do would be to take the products they steal to somebody else who wants to sell them online. They could also unload them from a suitcase and sell them themselves if they want to. Or in the case of food, they could take this food to a nearby deli or bodega. That's why the ice cream is locked up. It gets stolen and then gets transported to another store where it then gets resold. This happens with clothes as well. There was a quote-unquote cosmetics store that was selling stolen goods from stores like Macy's, and it existed around the corner from Macy's in a physical location where customers could walk in. And they had stolen items from pretty much every store, Macy's, Nordstrom's, all of it in their stores, some of it with the same tags that it had on it in the store that it was taken out of. And when you hear about stuff like that, and then you go to a store like this and you see things like ice cream behind bars, and when you see the vans of products parked in middle-class neighborhoods that are like miniature shopping malls that can drive away when the police show up, the full reality of New York's predicament when it comes to theft.
Oh my god, that's crazy. They literally have this poster to show these. Oh my god. Okay, this is actually. Okay. You know, to be honest, I was thinking it was more of a. Like, where is it? This. Where it's like, it has like they just have a blanket and they just have this goods there. These are literally full vans of stuff. Like, look at this. Look at this. It just has hardware stuff. And people are probably gonna buy it because, it's cheaper than buying it at an actual store.
Show up, the full reality of New York's predicament when it comes to theft starts to emerge. It's so big, no store can stop it. And we're at a point now where anything that can be stolen will be stolen and taken somewhere else for profit. And obviously, none of this security is a deterrent whatsoever because you can have as many police and as many National Guard troops as you want. A store like this in a well-guarded area, it's still gonna have to lock things up because criminals just don't care. They know that if they wait long enough inside the store, an opportunity will arise for them to take something that's not theirs and then run off. It's terrible. And right now we've got criminals with hundreds of arrests just wandering our streets looking for new opportunities to do the thing that they've done hundreds of times already. They're the reason a brand new Walgreens and a brand new train station still has to lock everything up, even though it's surrounded by people in full military dress. And is Amazon partly responsible for this? Absolutely. They gain new customers every single day. Somebody walks into a place like this and has to wait longer than they want to buy something that they know is already overpriced. But the reality here is that without new laws that criminalize crime once again in this city, more of our stores are going to shut down, more pharmacies.
Well, I mean, okay. The thing is with Amazon, I don't think they're at fault. I mean, okay, like, I'm not trying to glaze Jeff Bezos or anything, but it's just like people who sell their stuff online, they're gonna sell it for the best price that they can, the cheapest, but also like the most profit that they can make. And I'll be honest, if they can sell it for slightly cheaper and get more sales, they'll do that over selling it for a bit more and get less sales, if that makes sense. And I'll be honest, if you cannot sell your products for a certain price and you don't get customers, well, I mean, it's kind of a you problem at this point. It's not even really a us problem. It's more of a you problem. Like, obviously, you're not going to get as many sales if people don't buy your product because it's so overpriced. They're going to go for the online option.
This year will close just like they did last year, and there will be even less places for people to buy basic things. And the quality of life for New Yorkers is going to go down, while the costs to live here go up as the remaining stores do even more to crack down on crime because our laws won't. What do you think about that? Should people who steal go to jail, or should we do something else? Let me know. Thank you so much for watching.
A stolen yard sale. Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know New York was actually that bad of a state. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't even know what they can really do to fix it. I think it's just cooked. It's over. I mean, they can still fix it. It's just, it's gonna take a really long time to fix that, because a sort of mentality like that, especially when you're seeing it, like if you see it like across the street, or like, you know, you just, it's so blatantly obvious, it's just there, you know. I don't think you can really fix that very easily. Let's see some of the comments. It's a shame how much of a dump the city became. And recognition is not raised. Oh my god. You know, this is true. I think the middle class, regardless, is getting absolutely destroyed by politics. There is no such thing as the middle class at this point. I mean, the solution, yeah, is to put criminals behind bars and actually give punishments. Like, I'll be honest, is there, with like, no bail, no jail, or in New York City this, go woke, go broke. I'll be honest, I don't even think it's not even a woke thing. It's more just like people are so stupid and they don't want to put criminals behind bars. I don't think it's a woke type of thing. The issue is literally them not putting people behind bars when they use crime, because that's what it is. It's crime. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna just, that's it for this episode. This video has been going for too long. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great day. And if you like this video, maybe give it a like and maybe subscribe. Anyways, see you guys next time. Peace out, everybody.